everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Just so happen to be stopping by for the very first time. Thank you so much for being here. By the way, my name is Donella and this is my world of makeup right here on YouTube. Alright, so for this video, this is actually not going to be anything that's long-winded, anything that's over maybe 10 to 12 minutes. I assume this video is probably going to be under 10 minutes or less. I might be wrong because sometimes I get away with it. You know, you never know. Sometimes I just like that, but that's okay. You know, I have to get my point across, and I have to make sure that you guys understand exactly what I'm talking about. Ooh, these lashes are just like, they're different. I've never tried this style before. These are other lashes, so they're looking a little bit on camera. They're looking just like. Anyway, let me just start my little chattering. This video is all about how I'm currently setting my translucent powder. This is a part of the video that was deleted out of the previous upload. Well, not the previous upload, but the upload where I was talking about my clean makeup application. This was the section that was edited out. I know I'm extra, don't worry about that. I talk with my hands, it's okay, just keep up. It's okay, just follow this part right here. Anyway, if you guys are interested in seeing how I'm currently setting my translucent powders, if you want to learn a little trick here and there and how you can set your translucent powders, then please stay tuned. Alright. Alright, so for this video I'm going to be switching on my concealers. I'm already wearing my foundation, the same Maybelline foundation. However, I'm wearing currently the Too Faced Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer. I'm wearing the shade Spiced Rum, and I also added a bit of my Juvia's Place concealer. This one is shade number 10. Because I use those two particular concealers in order for me to have a nice flash free, a nice cake free look, I'm going to be using my Sacha Buttercup powder. And the reason why I'm using that versus using my Holy Grail, the Fenty powder, is because of the undertones of both of these concealers. I do actually believe that the Spice Rum, I do actually see that the Spice Rum has a bit of like a reddish undertone, which, you know, given the name, I could understand that. So in order for me to kind of bring back the warmth to my face, I'm going to be using my Sacha Buttercup powder to set both concealers in place. So first things first, I'm going to take my MAC Studio Fix powder in the shade NW50, and I'm just going to lightly take 2 taps in it, and then I'm just going to nicely tap it just below the areas where I would have applied my translucent powder. You guys already know the areas where I applied. It's underneath both my eyes, just above my forehead right here, and right here on my chin. Just a little bit, just like that. Nothing more, nothing less. Just some very small, simple, light taps. That's just basically going to act as another setting powder, because you guys know I have oily skin, so I kind of double up on the different things that I use. By the way, this little trick that you see me doing here with the MAC press powder, it's not something that I created on my own. I saw Makeup Shayla doing it, and I was like, I'm going to try that, and I have been loving that technique ever since. So I'm going to take the same beauty sponge that I use to blend out my concealer. You guys have seen me do this before. I just tap a bit of the powder on the back of my hand first, and then I'm going to go right here in the innermost corner of my, right there, and then I'm just going to drag the excess below, and then I'm just going to gently, by the way, when you're doing this, you want to make sure you have a nice straight line, especially if you're somebody who actually contours their nose. You want to make sure that you have a nice straight line. And this is where I actually go in and start using the excess that's on my hand, and then gently press it, going outwards, just going back in, taking whatever is there, and then pressing it, just spreading it across the area, just like that, until all of the translucent powder is nicely set in place. So I just basically just keep going back to where I drop most of it, and then spreading it across the area, and I do this back and forth until I see everything is nicely pressed into my skin. You guys know I'm kind of over the whole baking thing, so I just press the translucent powder into my skin. Now if I feel like I don't have enough in this area right here, I always go back in, same routine, but with the second application of the translucent powder, I don't start from in here, because I do believe I have enough powder right in this corner right here. So then I would go right here, and then gently press it up and outwards, up and then outwards. And I know some persons just go in and just dab the whole thing right there and then just start blending out, but I feel like when you take your time and you place the translucent powder in the areas where you actually want it to hit, then I feel like not only does your makeup hold up throughout the course of the day, but your pictures, you know, when you take your selfies, they just look amazing. See that? I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. You guys know I still do the trick where I put a bit of the translucent powder over the bridge of my nose where my shades set. I still do that. I feel like Fenty powder is the only one that doesn't leave that little dent, but because I'm using the Sacha Buttercup powder, I know I'm going to have that dent. If I decide to go out and I put on shades, I'm going to have that dent. So I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side. I'm just going to lightly tap right there. Make sure I have my my line is not straight. Make sure I have my straight line right there, yes. And then I'm just going to drag the excess out. So I can dip and then spread it across, dip and then spread it across, dip again and just spread it across. Same technique. So again, start from here and then just go upwards and then spread it outwards. I have this mirror in front of me, and I probably should be using the mirror that's, you know, closer, because I hear peeping like people who are blind, because the ring light is like kind of in the way, and I should probably be using this one in front of me instead. You know, Donella, that makes a lot more sense. And we are nicely blended out, and I'm just going to, I don't really do anything I don't do anything different in terms of setting setting the concealer on my forehead, on my chin. I just basically go in and just cover all the areas where I applied the translucent powder. Wherever I kind of went really wide with my concealer when I set it early. With my concealer when I applied it earlier. So I know I went all the way out here, so I'm going to set all the way out here with the Sacha Buttercup powder, and then right here on my chin as well. One thing you can do, right, if you feel like you need more translucent powder, you can go in the same way how you saw me do and just gradually build up the powder. And I feel like once you do this technique, this actually helps to control the amount of translucent powder that you use on your face. Your makeup remains cake free, crease free, whichever way you want to put it, and this actually saves you some money. So that way you don't have to be wondering, hey, I'm just wasting my translucent powder every day because I'm obviously packing on way too much at a time. You know, just gradually build it up. It's the same routine with concealers and foundation. Same routine applies to powder. Just gradually build it up and just look at how amazing your makeup looks at the end of your entire routine. Alright guys, so I am back feeling my extra self all over again. You know, you guys know once I have this full face of makeup on, the extraness is on. It's on. Anyway, if you guys have any questions in relation to the current routine that I just showed you guys in this video, please be sure to drop me a comment in the comment section. Also, you know, you can always hit me up on any one of my social media handles. All of the platforms that I'm currently on is down in the description box. All of them is at MUADonellaD. Hit me up, let me know if you have a question about the routine. If you happen to have liked the video, please also be sure to give it a big thumbs up on your way out. And don't forget that red button right there. Go ahead and click the subscribe button on your way out. Thank you guys so much for being here with me once again, and I'll talk to you guys real soon on my next upload. Bye bye.